Oh, yes. Put your hand on your laptops, your desktops, and let the vibe flow through because we are ready to roll. It is the midday week, and we are here on Sports Take along
Hump
with
day.
Barrett Brooks. I'm Derek Gunn, and you might notice 1/3 of the three amigos is absent today. Rob Ellis is off today. Rob Ellis is also off tomorrow. Deserves some, he got some much deserved time off getting away from the likes of us. Well, more so Barrett than me because I think I'm the peacemaker between the two.
Right. I can't believe he's off, man. I can't believe he's off, bro.
I know. He never takes a day off.
Never, man. So him taking a day off, man, is crazy, man. Crazy. But hey, it is hump day. He needs a break. I'm glad he didn't see he don't even know how to do it right. He gonna take off Wednesday and Thursday.
Right.
Hell, if it was me, I had to take off Wednesday and Thursday. I'm gonna take off Friday too. He's coming back on Friday. What is he thinking about, man? But hey, that's Rob for you.
Hey, look, man. I don't know, man. That dude's dedicated to the cause. He's a mercenary. And, you notice there's more energy in our voices when we get to Wednesday. It's like Monday through Friday, we just kind of, we get through it, and all of a sudden Wednesday comes. You at the crest of the hill, and you can see the valley. You're not down in the valley yet, but you can see the valley coming up, which is the weekend.
You see the other side, man. That's it, man. See the other side, bro. 2 days and counting.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge all the people joining us today. As we appreciate you, John Dickerson. You see John Dickerson starting already. Put your hand on your ventilator while D-Gun crop dust you with 3 hours of his sports and grilling knowledge. You see what I'm saying? We're not even 3 minutes into the show, and John Dickerson started next. Joey B, I see you, Yacht. Chris D, always happy to have you aboard with us. Whether you're working one of your 20 jobs, you're listening to us while you're cleaning your house, whatever the case may be, Chris D has been so loyal to us. Butt plug, I don't know. I think I might change that handle. I don't know, B-Brook. Daz Deals, we see you. Tyler Bowledge, Dre W, Tyler Connors, let's see, Jeremy Brewer. Who else we got up in here today, man? Steve Ike. Yeah, we got you. Thank you for hanging with us and rolling with us on this day. B. Brooks, it's funny. It's the offseason in the NFL. We've gotten through. Joey B said you need to do a segment from the garage, man, so we can see some of the stuff you're doing out there.
You're right, man. You're right. I need to, man. I really need to. It's just the internet sucks in my garage, man. I got to get one of those boosters. That's what I get. A signal booster. But I definitely would.
Yeah, and then Joey B says, D-Gun, we need a segment from the deck, grills, Traegers, green eggs. Hey, this spring or this summer coming up, I already told these guys I'm gonna do a show out on the deck. I'm just gonna sit out on the deck, maybe have something grilling, occasionally pan over to it just to entice Rob and Barrett that much more, to try to detract them from what we're talking about. I'm gonna do it, but see, with my luck, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna get locked into a segment of discussion. All of a sudden, I'll look over and see flames, and all we gonna have is like burnt wood on that grill.
No, that'll never happen, bro. You'll never let that happen, man.
Let me tell you something, man. B. Brooks, I love football as we know it today, man, because it is a 24/7 year-round business. There's always something going on. And I wanted to open with this because this is like right in your backyard, your wheelhouse, so to speak. Greedy Williams had his press conference yesterday here in Philadelphia. And one of the things that he talked about that really jumped out at me was he said, it's a winning culture here. I wanted to be a part of this. And, we talk about cultures, and there's a lot of good cultures around the National Football League, and there are some that are not so favorable. So first of all, I want to go back with you. When you first came into the league as a second-round draft pick with the Philadelphia Eagles and you stayed here 4 years, tell me what that culture was like back then, because it was a team that was not necessarily in disarray, but it was like a rudderless ship, so to speak. You know what I mean? It was there, but nobody knew what direction was really going in.
Bro, it was Andy Reid's first. I mean, not Andy Reid, but it was Jeffrey Lurie's first year as owner of the franchise. He had just bought the franchise. In fact, I was a part of his first draft class. I was the first offensive lineman he drafted. It was Mamula in the first round, and then me and Bobby Taylor in the second round. They were trying to make that transition from the previous coach, man, who was horrible, man. I forget his name. He ended up going to the Jets after this. But he got Ray Rhodes in. And Ray Rhodes was not shy about saying whatever the heck he wanted to say. I mean, you name it, he would say some of the stuff he said, man. Some of his halftime, speeches and pregame speeches and stuff go down in history. They're infamous, bro. They're infamous. Put it like that, man. I'm talking about everything from shears, to rape. Everything happened when he was talking about getting ready for a football game. It got to the point that, guys are like, let's go get him. So his speeches were infamous, man. So it was a different culture then. He had a culture that, all right, just get the job done. Get the job done. We wanted to win. We won our first 2 years here. Went to the playoffs our first 2 years.
Right.
We were turning the corner, man, but all of a sudden things started changing, man. He started having less power and the people he brought in. Like when he first got here, man, he went and got guys from off the street, basically. Daniel Stubbs looked like he just came out. They found him in the park somewhere. Daniel Stubbs, you know what I'm saying? Miami guy. He was good though, my boy Ronnie Dixon. Ronnie Dixon was a truck driver.
Yeah.
They got him off the truck and came to play. My boy Kevin, what was Kevin's last name? Damn, I forgot Kevin. Kevin Johnson.
Oh, Johnson, okay.
Kevin Johnson, defensive lineman. Bruh, he was working in his family's liquor store when they went and got him.
What?
Yeah, so we had all kind of guys, man. We had such an elaborate group of guys, bro. Elaborate being, you name it, we got it. William Fuller was, these was Ricky Waters used to have Method Man and Red Man in the locker room. Charlie Garner was just his own little thing, that's the first time when I first got to, being in training camp and we're going in trying to get ready for the season. It was already hard. We was in Westchester my first year. And that stadium was down in a pit, and it was just hot. I mean, just super hot. I mean, it averaged like 98 degrees my rookie year, man. And I can remember sitting there, and we're going through practice, and Ricky Waters, he took like probably 95% of the run plays,
right?
And they gave Charlie all the pass plays. So we got to the end of practice. Charlie, like he mad. He hot now. So his running back coach name was Dick. And it was crazy to me because all of a sudden I saw Charlie look at Dick, rolled his eyes, took his helmet off, and went to not the next field, but the field after that. He went over the other side, took his helmet off, and sat on his helmet.
What?
Yes. So Ray Rose is like, hey, tell Charlie to come run these. He's like, nah, no. He was out there running all them run plays. Let that MF run these run plays. And sat over his helmet for the rest of practice. I'm looking like, did that just happen? You know what I'm saying? I'm not used to that type of thing. I'm a college guy, coming from college. I mean, it was crazy, bro. It was some of the stuff that happened, man. Charlie was a different dude, man. I remember we watching film as the total offense.
Okay.
And Charlie Garner, he's sitting there, and the light switch is right here. Light switch is right there. All he has to do is go up, flip it down. So we're in the meeting, and all of a sudden Dick is running the meeting. We're going through 907. So, hey, Charlie, could you turn the lights off? Dick asked me again, Charlie, can you turn the lights off?
Come on, man.
Man, Dick, stop begging me. You don't pay me for that. Stop begging me, Dick. Dick, stop begging me. And sat right there like this.
Wouldn't turn the light out?
So Dick had to get all the way up from one side of the room, all the way over there, turn the lights off, and walk all the way back to his desk. Yes.
Wait a minute, players got away with stuff like that back then?
What do you mean get away? These are grown men who made more than the coaches.
Dude, there's a certain amount of respect involved here. Do you think anybody would have done that to Andy Reid?
It was the wild, wild west, dog, in that room, man. And it was the wild, wild west, bro. It was
so you're saying in the infancy stages of Jeffrey Lurie's tenure, there really was no established culture.
Oh, no. I mean, it got to the point that sometimes I used to think that, Angelo from WIP, what he said would happen, as far as moves and within the framework of the team. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he said, oh, I don't like this guy, Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson get cut, man. It was crazy, amount of disorganization and rebellion in that locker room, man.
And this was during Ray Rose's tenure?
Yes, Ray Rose's tenure, his first 2 years. And this is when we had the most success. When he finally got things all corralled in and doing his culture, that's when we started losing.
Wow.
When it was the Wild Wild West, it was cool, man. I mean, it was literally a dog-eat-dog world inside our locker rooms and stuff. You know, we're on the field, man. I can remember Ricky Waters and Chucky. You know, coach. What was his name, man? Offensive coordinator. We call him Chucky. Daggone it. He was a Raiders coach. Got fired. Was on Monday Night Football.
Oh my goodness! I'm having
Come on, the streams got to help me out, man. You know this, you know CTE, man. Come on, man. Gruden, John Gruden. Yeah, John Gruden. Come on, guys.
Yes,
there you go.
CTE can't get in.
But John Gruden, man. So John would be, calling plays, and all of a sudden Ricky would run over to the phone after we get off the field. Ricky would run over to the phone and pick up the phone and start cussing out John Gruden up in the box. And you could literally look up and see John cussing him back out. I mean, they holding their crotch and everything, throwing it, a middle finger up and everything. They going back and forth.
During the game?
Yes. It was mass hysteria in that locker room, man.
So you were here for what, 2 years in Ray Rhodes?
I was here 4 years under Ray Rhodes.
You didn't play for Andy. How many years did you play for Andy?
None.
You didn't play for Andy, so okay.
No, none. Andy came in and I left.
Okay. So then when you move on, where'd you go next? Pittsburgh?
No, then I went to Detroit.
Okay.
And that was another, I mean, I don't know what it was, bro, but that was also one of those locker rooms. Bobby Ross. My second year there, Bobby Ross quit halfway through the season.
I remember that.
Quit.
He couldn't handle you people, man.
Bruh, when I say it was crazy, man, we're going to play the Packers.
Yeah.
We're going to play the Packers. So it's cold. It's cold in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? The snow on the ground. In fact, we're going to practice upstairs, up on the fields. It's like a foot of snow on the fields. We're not getting anything done. Guys jumping off sides. We're playing around in practice. We should have been out there. We should have been practicing inside. But we're thinking since we're playing Green Bay, we would practice outside to get used to the elements, which is a total farce because when I went to Green Bay after I left Detroit, if Brett Favre saw one snowflake coming down, we're in the indoor. We went straight to the indoor. We never practiced outside. Never. If it was one raindrop to fill, we're in the indoor. And it was like a decided advantage, as far as weather up there. We never practiced in it, but we playing it.
Right.
So long story long, we're out there. I'm in Detroit, and we're out there practicing. Guys jumping off sides. We can't get anything done. So Ray Rhodes is like our second. Bobby Ross. He see the practice. It's all unorganized guys walking around. He just starts hopping in one place. Stop the practice. He's just stepping up. Hurt, and he's a little dude too, so he looked like a little midget. You know what I'm saying? Up there walking, not a midget. I'm sorry, a little person up there. My apologies, everyone.
You can't say midget.
I know, man. That. I know. That's what I'm saying. That's how
I have nothing to do with this.
Yes, me neither. So look. He started just running the play. Stop the practice, and guys are walking. Stop walking. Come on, stop walking. Run. Guys kept walking. They finally get to him. And he starts, I give my heart and soul to you guys. And Robert Porcher and Herman Moore start laughing. Not like that, but I mean loud. Oh, that's just laughing at him.
That's disrespect.
Dog, the disrespect was so mean, dog, that something went out. He blacked out and he fell face first into the snow.
I'm talking face first.
Bobby Ross.
Yeah. He blacked out.
He just fell face first. I guess he had a stroke. I don't know what. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what happened, but he fell face first into the snow. Boom! Didn't catch himself or nothing. They ran over and grabbed him. Coach Ross. They, coaches picked him up. He said, he got up. He's like, guys, just take it in. Just take it in. What? So we start walking away. We're starting to go in, and we had to walk down this road hill. Herman Moore turns around and says, "Coach, does that mean we can just go home? We ain't got meetings either, do we?" He fainted again in the coach's hands. Yes, dog. Yes. Come on, yes. Yes.
Come on, dude.
So we all went home. We didn't even go to meetings. We all went home, came back the next day, and we're sitting there and in the meeting. And he said, guys, I don't know where I lost this team, but I know I've lost it. Robert Porsche tells us, I tell you when you lost it. We kept lying to us and stopped and not telling us the truth. When we came to you with serious issues, you lied to us too much. I mean, he just went off. And Ross just stopped the meeting and walked on out. It was it. You know what I'm saying? Coach Moeller, remember Coach Moeller? He used to be Michigan head coach, defensive coordinator. He became the interim head coach. We ended up being pretty good, man. I think we made it to the playoffs that year too. We were pretty good that year, you know, but bro, I'd had some crazy locker room cultures that I've been a part of.
I guarantee you didn't pull that. Not you, but I'm saying players didn't pull that in Pittsburgh.
Oh no. That's when I knew things got better, man. That's when I knew there was a protocol and a culture that you had to play under. Like when I got to Green Bay, Coach Sherman, he was the head coach there, but you could see they did things the right way. You know what I'm saying? Even though Ed Donatel was our defensive coordinator, I know you hate him, man.
don't even mention that name to me, man.
Yeah, man. But you know, it's the difference between locker room cultures. And then, when I finally then I went to Coach Fossil with the Giants. That was a crazy locker room also. I mean, players did what they wanted to do there. I remember we practiced, man. We going 2-a-days, and we did like 5 or 6 2-a-days in a row, no breaks. All of a sudden, you know, we're walking down to practice, and Strahan looks up and said, you know what? I ain't feeling it today, man. I am not feeling it. I'm about to go to the movies, man.
What?
Hey, guys, yo, practice over with. We ain't practicing today. Let's go. Take it back in. Coach Fossil's on the field. It's like, what's going on? Everybody start talking around. Hey, Michael Barrow, Mike, let's go. He starts saying it too. Guys, no practice today. We're going, taking it in. We'll see you tomorrow, coach. We ain't go to meetings that night or nothing. We just didn't go to practice. I'm sitting there like this. Bro, this is how we do things? I mean, we just not going to go to practice. We just going to turn around. Straight turned me, man, you better turn your butt around, man. Let's go, man. I said, all right, let's go. Went back in, man. Tiki started telling people, hey, guys, let's go. We ain't going in. Big Mike say we're not practicing today. You know what I'm saying? Keith Hamilton. Yeah, bro, I was just about to tell you, man. I don't feel this anyway. Coach, hey, coach. so you know, Big Keith
That's
goes
crazy,
over,
man.
Keith goes over and says, hey, coach, we ain't practicing today. We'll check you tomorrow. We ain't practicing tonight either. We ain't going to meetings today. This is a total day off. We gave it to you for 5 days straight. We done for the day. Took it to the house.
So we look at how this Eagles team has evolved in terms of, and I'm going back to the era when back in the early 2000s when Andy Reid took over and they really started to get good and carried it over through it. Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, Doug Peterson, now Nick Sirianni. You've been back a long time since your playing career has been over. You've gotten to know a lot of players who are current players / former players for this Eagles team. What is it about this culture? You know, beyond just the winning and losing, what is it about this culture? And I'll tell you what my perspective is, having got to know so many players here, that makes so many players, going back to what Greedy Williams said, he wanted to be a part of this culture. What is it about this culture you've learned that has so many players attracted to it?
It's the gold standard. You know, I remember when Jeffrey Lurie first said that, everybody laughed at him. I remember that. Everybody laughed. That's when I just retired, and he said, look, we are the gold. We're going to make ourselves the gold standard. We will become the gold standard of teams in the NFL. And I'd be damned if he didn't do it. I mean, he's straight up. He spares no expense in making sure his players get the best of whatever they need to go out there and accomplish whatever goal they need to accomplish. He has an open door policy. He treats you like your family. Like, he legitimately treats you like right now, I could go to Mr. Lurie and say, look, man, I need you. I need you right now. And he will go above and beyond for me. That's just how Jeffrey Lurie is. Mr. Lurie is a great, great owner, you know, and you can go to him about anything. You know what I'm saying? He'll give his heart to you, man. You know, so when you play for an owner like that, that's serious about how he treats his players and how, you know, his players are being looked at, you do a lot more. You go above and beyond. I mean, look at everything that he facilitated to help Malcolm Jenkins in the causes that he fought for.
Yeah.
His ability to you know, look at, you know, Chris Long and helped Chris Long along the way of being, one of the most influential guys in that locker room. That's just who he was. That's just who he is. The trust that he has in Howie Roseman. And, Howie Roseman has no fear of getting fired because he understands that the owner will back him every way. Now, he got to go out there and produce, but they trust each other enough that, that relationship is that he would go above and beyond for him. Just like with, the head coach, same thing.
Yeah.
You can't BS them, but you also will get no BS from them.
Mm.
And when if you can keep it 100 with me, I'm going to give you it all, bro. Because don't lie to me. Lie for me before you lie to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the type of organization this is. They're going to keep it 100 with you. They're going to tell you the truth. They're not going to sugarcoat it. But there's a pure expectation. And when I say pure expectation, the pureness of sincerity of them caring about their players. That's a pureness and sincerity that they have in that organization. So that culture that's built there can bring in a lot of bad eggs, and they can absorb those bad eggs and make those eggs, just like all the other eggs. They can become better people in this organization. They give you an opportunity to rewrite a wrong if you have right or wrong, but also if you're thinking about it, they can get you out of that mindset because there's the close-knit community style home feeling that they have in that Eagles organization.
I would say also extract the 2+ years that Chip Kelly was here when he basically unraveled everything that Jeffrey Lurie tried to establish in that locker room beyond just W's and L's in terms of a culture. You go from Andy Reid to Doug Peterson to now Nick Sirianni. And players that I've got to know would always say, you know what, it's beyond treating you like men. They actually listen to you, and they will try to implement some of the things that you tell them. The players committee was the liaison. Smart move by Andy Reid, by the way, and Doug Peterson following suit, and Nick Sirianni. Smart by these men to not just form a committee, because the players have the ear of their teammates and the coaches don't. Players are going to say stuff to each other. They're never going to say to a coach, a GM, or an owner. But the fact that these players trust their superiors enough to go back in there and relay this information to them, the coaches honestly sit there and listen and try to make changes, and the players see those changes. Why wouldn't you want to play for somebody like that? You look at some of the other organizations, even stuff today. We heard the stories about how Arizona Cardinals, you got to pay for your meals there. When you talked about when you play for teams, you had to pay for your own socks and stuff like that.
Yes.
They don't do that here, man.
Nope.
And there's something to be said. Obviously, when you start putting up more W's than L's and you're getting more primetime games and you're getting playoff appearances, players want to be a part of that. And as we've seen through the years, players will take less money to stay in a culture they're comfortable with, more so than grabbing that almighty dollar like a lot of players do. But Jeffrey Lurie wants to make you understand we are not just a team, we are a family here. And see, it's one thing to say it. You hear people say, we're a family here. They don't show it.
Right.
This team shows it in every way, shape, or form that they are the epitome of what a family is supposed to be. They care about you as people. I talk about this all the time. Joe Banner would tell you basically, I'm not here to be friends with players.
Absolutely. That was my GM during the time.
Yeah. Howie Roseman has told me, I want to get to know my players.
Yep.
And you see it, you see how they interact with Howie on the practice field, in pregame warm-ups, and when he's in the locker room after big wins and stuff, he's running around hugging players. Look, Jason Kelce, you see, we just saw last week, he's got Jason Kelce in the office. They're hugging because Kelsey's coming back for another year, and they're sharing a drink. I don't know what they were drinking, but they were sharing a drink in the locker room. That says a lot. That speaks volumes when players see, because you know what players say? Man, I don't have that kind of relationship where I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Man, that's something I want to be a part of right there.
Right. It's crazy when you think about a GM having a personal relationship with his players when it's a dog-eat-dog world. That's why the NFL stands for not for long. It's a what have you done for me lately type of league. Yep. So, to have that relationship, Howie can walk around that locker room and have interpersonal conversations. Not once did I have a personal relationship when I was there, when I had like Modrak and them, Modrak and, your boy. I mean, they just didn't have that. They didn't want to have that type of relationship. Mm-hmm. I didn't experience that type of relationship till I went to actually when I was actually in Detroit and I got to know Kevin Colbert. And he wasn't a GM then. He was like, you know, he was high ranking, but I don't know where Kevin was during that time. But Kevin, he's the one that brought me to Detroit.
Right.
And then he took me and took me to the Steelers. You know, I had that relationship with him. You know, I can remember, you know, my last 4 years in the NFL when I was with the Steelers with Kevin Colbert, I would call upstairs and ask him, hey, man, you guys bring – so as soon as free agency started, like, hey, man, you guys bringing me back? He said, yeah, we are, B. Don't worry about it. You'll be a Steeler. He said, just let us know if somebody wants to come sign you. But, you know, we're bringing you back. That's all he had to say to me. That's all he had to say to me. Come time when time for workouts and everything, I call and tell him, hey, man, I'm about to go work out with the Patriots, or I went to go work out with the Cardinals, or, you know, I'm going to work out with them, but I'm not going to sign with them. He said, all right, I understand, B. I understand. And I wouldn't sign with him. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't sign with him. I knew I was going to play with the Steelers, you know, and I would go back and I play with the Steelers. I went to work for Chicago. There's no way I'm going to Chicago or anywhere else. I'm going right back to the Steelers organization because I know that's the gold standard also. You know, they know how to run an organization. So, I mean, it means a lot to a player. That's why this has become a destination place for a lot of players in the NFL. And Greedy Williams is Greedy Williams, Darius Slay, well, Slay, don't call him Darius, but Slay and Bradbury show you exactly what they're talking about as far as a gold standard and Philadelphia being a destination place for free agents to come.
When you keep a player, now guys in the trenches are not guys that normally finish their entire careers with the same team.
No, exactly.
Okay, so you look at a guy like Jason Kelce, he's coming back. A Brandon Graham is coming back. What kind of message does that send to a locker room? Again, we're talking about the culture. What kind of message does that send to the locker room in terms of if you do certain things and if you hold yourself in a high esteem, here's the possibility with this particular organization?
Well, you know, you can't go with an offensive line. You can't really do that because it's a whole different allegiance when you're talking about offensive line at Stoutland University.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different, you know, game, you know, because guys that leave Stoutland University go and play, and they play for a long time. He is the best offensive line coach in the league. So that's a whole different type of allegiance to a team than you would anywhere else. You know, it really doesn't matter where he is, wherever Stoutland is, you could believe he'd have a harem of guys going with him. You know, as far as Stoutland University, he's that good of a coach, and he makes those guys better. So Stoutland University, you know, that's a different type of mark you're talking about. Now, when you're talking about the organization as a whole, there wasn't even a defensive coordinator. I mean, they got a defensive coordinator. They don't really know the defensive coordinator, but they signed back because of Philadelphia and the ownership and the GM convinced those guys to come back because they know what they're going to get. They know they're going to be treated well. They'll be well taken care of. And in the long run, it's a better place to be because you know there's going to be a winning attitude, a winning culture in that locker room. That means a lot to players. You know, some guys go ring tag. Why do you think Ndamukong Suh came? You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to come back. Dude is rich enough. He just tried to win another ring for his other kid. He has one to give one kid. He's trying to win him another one so he can get to the other kid, you know. So that's the type of organization, you know, he was looking for that had a real opportunity of getting a Super Bowl ring. They didn't get one, but they were in the Super Bowl. You know, you got to be in the dance in order to get the ring. And they were in the dance, you know what I'm saying? But long story long, this team is showed to be the gold standard, not just in the NFC East, but the NFC and the NFL as a whole.
He is Barrett Brooks. I'm Derek Gunn. Rob Ellis has a couple of well-deserved days off. Rob will rejoin us on Friday. As Barrett Brooks said, if I'm taking off Wednesday and Thursday, I might as well throw Friday in there also. But that's Barrett's perspective. That's my perspective, but it's not Rob Ellis's perspective. Hey, coming up a little bit later on in this program, we're going to have Zach Berman from the Athletic join us at 1 o'clock. Right now, I believe he's at an Eagles press conference. The Eagles have a press conference for their two newest members, linebacker Nicholas Morrow and safety Justin Evans. So we're going to get Zach on at 1 o'clock to talk about what they have to say and ask him about a grade that he gave both of these players in a recent article. We're also going to talk to I'm going to talk to Barrett Brooks about who needs to step up with this Eagles team on defense at a couple of positions like D-line and in other positions, the tight end positions. Also, Barrett, I want to talk to you about, let's look at some of the free agents at positions of linebacker and safety. And I'm going to give you some names, and you tell me if they pique your interest or not. We've got all that and a lot more. We've got obviously some Sixers to talk about. They're back on the court tonight in Chicago against that Bulls team that stopped their winning streak on Monday night. Flyers get a rare win. I can't believe it. The Flyers get a rare win. And, of course, coming up in the 2 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about any and everything that's going on in the National Football League. And, of course, later, we've got birthdays and we've got movies that came out on this particular day. All that and more coming up on this edition of Sports Take on a hump day. We're right back after this short pause.